into. My name is Margaret. I'm 80 years old. I've been carrying something with me since 1967. A secret, not the kind that protects anyone, the kind that just sits inside you, gets heavier every year.
I don't know why I'm saying this now. Maybe because I can feel time differently these days, like it's not infinite anymore, like there's a number somewhere and I'm getting close to it. I was 17 in 1967. That summer, everything smelled like cut grass and gasoline. My older brother, Danny, had just come back from overseas. He'd been gone 2 years. When he left, he was loud, always laughing, always the first one to jump into the lake, the first one to start a fight if someone looked at me wrong. When he came back, he was quiet. Not sad, not angry, just quiet. I remember the day he got home. My mother cried so hard she had to sit down on the porch. My father shook his hand like they were strangers, and I stood there holding a glass of lemonade I'd made for him, watching him look past all of us. He smiled, he said the right things, but his eyes didn't move the same way. I thought he'd get better. I thought time would bring him back. We lived in a small town in Pennsylvania, the kind where everyone knew your name and your business. Danny and I used to sit on the roof of our house at night, talking about everything. He wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to leave and never come back. After he returned, I tried to get him up there again. One night in late July, I climbed out my window and tapped on his. He opened it, but he didn't come out. He just said, "Not tonight, Maggie." I didn't push. I thought there would be other nights. August came. Danny started working at the lumber yard with our father. He'd come home with sawdust in his hair and dirt under his nails. He'd eat dinner, say he was tired, and go to his room. I wanted to ask him what happened over there, what he saw, what changed. But I didn't. I was 17. I didn't know how to ask something like that. I didn't even know if I was supposed to. So I waited. I told myself he'd talk when he was ready. One Saturday, he asked if I wanted to go for a drive. It was the first time he'd asked me to do anything since he'd been back. I said yes so fast I almost tripped getting to the car. We drove out to the quarry, the place we used to go when we were kids. There was this spot where the water was so still it looked like glass. We sat on the hood of his car, not saying much. I kept waiting for him to start, to tell me something, anything. He didn't. After a while, he said, "You still want to get out of here?" I said, "Yeah, someday." He nodded. Then he said, "Good. Don't wait too long." I didn't know what he meant. I thought he was just being big brother protective, telling me to chase my dreams or whatever. I didn't hear what he was really saying. 2 weeks later, on a Tuesday morning, my mother found him. He'd gone into the garage the night before, left a note on the kitchen table that just said, "I'm sorry." That was it. No explanation, no goodbye from me, just those 2 words. I didn't cry at the funeral. I don't know why. Everyone else did. My mother couldn't stand. My father looked 20 years older. I just stood there, numb, staring at the casket, thinking he was right here. 2 weeks ago, he was sitting next to me. People kept saying things. "He's at peace now. He's with God. It's not your fault." But no one said what I needed to hear. No one said, "You should have asked." I left town 3 months later, went to Philadelphia, got a job as a secretary, met a man named Robert, got married, had 2 daughters. I built a whole life.
But Danny came with me, not in a way anyone could see, not in pictures on the wall or stories I told. I didn't talk about him, not really. When people asked if I had siblings, I'd say I had a brother. He passed. And they'd nod, say they were sorry, and we'd move on. But at night, when the house was quiet, I'd think about that drive to the quarry. I'd replay it over and over, the way he looked at the water, the way he said, "Don't wait too long." And I'd wonder, what if I'd asked him what he meant? What if I'd said, "Danny, are you okay?" What if I'd stayed up, kept him talking, made him tell me what was sitting so heavy inside him? Would it have changed anything? I don't know. I'll never know. For years, I convinced myself it wouldn't have mattered, that whatever he was carrying was too big, that nothing I could have said would have stopped him. But deep down, I knew that was just something I told myself so I could sleep. Because the truth is, I didn't ask because I was scared. Scared of what he might say. Scared I wouldn't know how to help. Scared of making it real by putting it into words. So I stayed quiet, and so did he. Robert died 6 years ago. Heart attack. Quick. He didn't suffer. My daughters live in different states now. They call on Sundays, sometimes Wednesdays. They're busy, I understand. I live alone in the same house we raised them in. It's too big now, but I can't seem to leave it. Some nights I sit in the living room with the TV on, not really watching it, just listening to the sound so the house doesn't feel so empty. And I think about all the people I didn't ask. Robert, when he seemed distant. My daughters, when they were teenagers and stopped talking to me. Friends who drifted away without explanation. I spent my whole life waiting for people to tell me what was wrong. I never learned how to ask. There's a woman at the grocery store I go to. Her name's Linda. She works the register. Always smiles, asks how I'm doing. A few months ago, she looked tired, worn down. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. I wanted to ask if she was okay, but I didn't. I just said, "Fine, thanks," paid for my groceries, and left. The next week, someone else was at her register. I asked where Linda was. The manager said she'd taken a leave of absence, family emergency. I haven't seen her since, and I think about her sometimes. Wonder if she's okay. Wonder if anyone asked. I'm 80 years old. I've lived a long time. Longer than Danny. Longer than Robert. Longer than I thought I would, honestly. And I've learned that the things you don't say are the ones that stay with you. Not the arguments, not the mistakes you made out loud. The silences, the moments you let pass because you thought there would be another chance. I kept Danny's note. I don't know why. It's in a box in my closet underneath some old sweaters. I haven't looked at it in years, but I know it's there. I'm sorry. 2 words. For 63 years, I've been trying to figure out what he was apologizing for. For leaving? For not telling me? For not being strong enough? Or maybe for trusting that I'd ask, and I never did. I think about that a lot now, how we trust people to see us, to notice when something's wrong, to ask the question we can't ask ourselves, and when they don't, we think it means we're not worth asking about. That's what I wonder about Danny. If he thought if she really cared, she'd ask, and I didn't, so maybe he thought I didn't care. God, I hope that's not true, but I'll never know. A few weeks ago, my youngest daughter called. Out of the blue, not a Sunday. She said, "Mom, are you okay? You sounded off last time we talked." I almost said, "I'm fine." That's what I always say. But something stopped me. Maybe because I'm 80. Maybe because I don't know how many more calls there will be. So I said, "Actually, I've been thinking about your uncle a lot lately." There was a pause. Then she said, "Tell me about him." So I did. I told her about the roof, the quarry, the way he used to make me laugh so hard I'd cry, the way he came home different, the way I didn't ask. She listened, and when I was done, she said, "I wish I'd known him." I said, "Me too." Then she said, "Mom, are you okay?" And I cried, not because I was sad, but because someone finally asked. I'm not saying this to make anyone feel guilty. I'm saying it because I wish I'd known sooner that asking doesn't fix everything, but it says